Well, welcome to our series on the journey to board service. My name is Linda Riefler, and I serve on the leadership team of Stanford Women on Boards. And at SWB, we are committed to helping our members and others at all levels of professional experience cultivate the skills and networks that open key gateways to effective board service. Today, my fellow Stanford Women on Boards colleague and friend, Sue Segal. Hi, Sue.
Hello.
We're going to give a high-level introduction to 10 video modules that we have developed that lay out key milestones and skills on the journey to board service. Each module is presented by two experienced board leaders who share what they know now and wish they knew when they were in your shoes. And boy, are you in for a treat. As you can see from this first slide, the road ahead is a journey with twists and turns. Modules 1 through 8 are designed to help you cultivate the necessary skills to get on a board. And once in the boardroom, our leading edge stewardship work, modules 9 and 10, will help rookie board members on board and help more experienced board members assess and cultivate their personal influence and effectiveness. And ultimately, when in leadership roles, the effectiveness of the board overall, which is module 10, you can see there. We believe this curriculum will benefit you in your learning journey. Whether you are early in the journey to learning about board service, undergraduates or recent graduates who are asking the fundamental question, what do board members and boards do? Or quite mature and asking, how do I enhance my personal effectiveness or the effectiveness of the board overall? These modules and the accompanying materials on the website are designed to be revisited over time as new opportunities emerge. We also recommend that you use these modules when mentoring others for board service. Before we start, we're going to share a little bit about our current board roles and responsibilities, as well as total years of board service. So Sue, let me start and turn it over to you. Welcome.
Thank you, Linda. And I'm thrilled to be able to participate in this. And I have to say, I'm as eager as all of you are to actually watch and learn from these modules that you're going to be able to take advantage of. I currently serve on 5 boards, 3 public boards: Align Technologies, the maker of Invisalign technology; Illumina, the maker of next generation sequencers that sequence genomes; and then Nevro, a bioelectronic device company that works on pain management. I'm also chairman of the board of MIT's The Engine, which is a public benefit corporation that works on advancing innovation and startups in hard tech. And I'm on a nonprofit, which is KFF, previously known as Kaiser Family Foundation, which is a health research, policy, polling, and news organization for health. And over the past 24 years, I've served on 20 boards of all types, a little over 20 boards of all types, public, private, and nonprofit. And with regards to committees, I've served on all standard committees, non-gov, audit, and compensation. And I've also served on technology and special committees, and I've chaired several of these committees over the years. Linda, I know you've got a lot to share with us too.
Thanks, Sue. So impressive. So fun to be doing this with you. So I'm on 5 boards right now too, 3 corporate and 2 nonprofit. And that's a good size for me. CSX is a corporate board, a class 1 railroad, about $70 billion in market cap. I chair the Nom and Governance, the actually called Governance and Sustainability Committee now. I'm on the board of MSCI, which is a global fintech company. It's about a $40 billion company. I've been on it since the company IPO'd, and I chair the Nom and Gov committee, and I've recently stepped down from chairing the Comp and Talent Committee and Culture Committee, which I chaired for a number of years. I also serve on a private equity board. It's owned by American Securities. It's called Napa Anesthesiology. And it's a national healthcare provider. And I've served on multiple nonprofit boards over many years, I think, that largely focus on literacy, transformation needs, for a total cumulative years of about 68 years of board service across the public, private, and nonprofit. So with those brief overviews, I'm going to turn back to Sue and ask you a question. I know you have a passion for service and that you've always found board work personally fulfilling, as well as being a great directive leader. What insight would you share about your board journey service?
You know, I have to say it's very rewarding to be involved in the most strategic aspects of the company or a company by being a board director. Now, That said, there are a few things to consider as you're making a decision to serve on a board. Some people find it challenging to actually make the transition from being a directive leader, an operator, to a board member. Others love it. Part of this journey is for you to actually figure this out for yourself. Now, being on boards might not be for everyone. One thing I'd emphasize is that you need to have a passion for your service, as there will be great times, and of course, there'll be more challenging times, as all things in life. And the times when challenges will arise, those are the times that will really test you, particularly on public boards when you have regulatory or activist or growth challenges or team challenges that pose risks to the company, and you have to help the CEO and work with your fellow board members to actually navigate them. Some find the financial rewards attractive. Let me just take a moment to stress that it shouldn't be your primary motivation. One point I'd also like to emphasize as you are on this journey, it's important to keep in mind that you need to be choosy on the boards you serve, on as they are when they are choosing you. It's very much a two-way street to choose and to be chosen. Linda, I know you enjoy working with high-performing teams. What would you say it takes to accomplish the same sort of environment in a board setting?
Well, to be successful on a board, it goes without saying that you need, significant operating experience and financial understanding, and a level of expertise that's really relevant to the future focused strategy of that company. But in my experience, the real differentiator in the boardroom is the EQ of individuals and the EQ of the board as a whole. Really the ability to work together with your peers in a board setting. And this means effective listening, asking important questions instead of just offering your expertise or the right answer. Boards are a team sport, and the ability to open the collective board's thinking around the most important issues is the sign of a really effective board leader.
Oh, true.
So, how long do you think this journey typically takes?
Typically, it depends. Let's be clear. I'd say for a nonprofit, the journey can be fairly short, but it takes time for a corporate board, maybe 15 to 20 years of experience under your belt. For private company boards, like those that are VC backed, they like to see that you have expertise in a specific field and that you have been successful in your operating role. For mature leaders from a standing start, the journey to a public board can be at least 2 years. And again, 15 to 20 years of experience, operating experience under your belt. Now, we've developed many skills as directive leaders, as operators over the years. Those skills are applied differently in the board setting. Some muscles are too strong, telling people what to do, and some might be too weak, those collaborative and advisory skills. What is a board looking for? They're all asking themselves, do I want you in my boardroom? I might know that you're an excellent leader, but I want to know if you can be effective in our boardroom, collaborative. Can we trust you to be candid at the right time, in the right way? Can you help us by asking the right question at the right time, in the right tone? Linda, I'd love you to share your insights too.
Well, Sue, what you just said is so powerful, and I know you've been really challenged to use all those skills in the last year.
Yes.
So I think I'm going to quote from a future module because repetition is the mother of mastery. So being a great board member, as we've both just been describing, will draw upon everything you've learned over the course of your career, and yet you will find it completely a different job from anything that you've done before. And unlike an executive team, a board isn't a set of individuals, each responsible for a specific vertical. It's a single entity, a collective, a team. Deeply understanding these differences is really fundamental to building your value on the board. And we're going to spend substantial time elaborating on this in our points to follow, as well as the future videos that we hope you all watch. This is just a list of the 10 modules. They're color-coded by where you are in the journey. Can you take us through modules 2 and 3 that answers the question, what do boards and board members do? The fundamentals. Who's the target audience for these sessions?
Yeah, these modules, again, what do boards and board members do? The audience for these sessions is for those that are new to board service, looking for an overview of the basics. We have one module for nonprofit boards and another that speaks to corporate boards with an overview covering VC, private equity, and public boards. This module is an introduction to how boards work and what your fiduciary responsibilities are. It's Boards 101. In later modules, we're going to introduce deeper skill sets via classes 201 and 301 of Board Excellence. Now, Module 4, which is called Assessing Your Readiness, self-assessment answers the question, where am I and what can I bring? And Linda, you're going to be covering some of this for us to get a preview of why is self-assessment of your board skills so important?
Thank you, Sue. So a self-assessment is important to show yourself where you are in the journey, to show others that you're taking responsibility and doing your homework before you reach out to a new network or somebody that you would like to be a mentor. Others will really appreciate that you've taken a first step to assess where you are and to consider why you are contemplating serving on a board. And like a compass, the self-assessment will get you walking in the right direction and give you a sense of the road ahead, including possible next steps, which could mean continuing to work on your career trajectory or finding online course you can take, all of which is embedded in our self-assessment recommendations for places to go, things to read, or online courses to take. So we've built a specific tool set, and again, you'll find that on our website. Sue, to move to modules 5, 6, and 7, those answer the question, how do I get on a board? And they're about presenting your capabilities to the right people. Can you take us through those?
Yeah, everyone asks, how do I get on a board? And you've got to start with creating your board bio, marketing yourself. And that's what Module 5 is all about. It's an exercise in creating, that requires discipline. What you will learn from the board bio marketing yourself session is that this is an exercise that requires discipline. Having a board bio puts you past the first screen as your qualifications are assessed against a board's skill matrix. Now, important to note, a board bio is very different from an executive resume or CV. It's a narrative. It describes your qualifications for a particular board role. It's the first thing folks will see of you if they don't already know you. A good one requires understanding how boards operate and what they are looking for in a board bio, and being able to use the appropriate keywords in your board bio. Here's the good news. SWB has a template on our website that you can download from. And as you can see here, it has a great example in this particular one. And it really is a wonderful example of what a really great one looks like. Let me talk about Module 6. This is letting the right people know, actually activating your networks. And you guys are good at that. Once you have a board bio, you can now use it, and it's time to activate your networks. Many board searches are still done via word of mouth and networks. So reaching out to your network is key. Let people know that you have the skills and both the time and desire to serve on boards. Focus on the people you know who are in a position to know of opportunities, and let them know that you are available and have the capacity to serve. Module 7 is called Choosing and Being Chosen. Choosing and being chosen. You get to choose too. So a couple of points to make regarding joining a board. I spoke to this earlier. It's as important to you to be chosen to serve as it is for you to choose whose board you want to serve on. So of course, dedicate the time to learn the organization, research it, know the company's mission, know the leadership, understand the board members, learn how to succeed in a board interview, practice, try to understand their criteria and why your experiences are relevant. Good interviews show, they don't tell. Consider how your experience, skills, and interests can actually add value to the board in a range of personal situations it may encounter. Finally, from personal experience, be passionate about the board you'd like to serve on. Be able to articulate for yourself and to others why you want to serve on a particular board. Demonstrate commitment. Boards go through good and tough times. Boards want members who step up in moments of adversity. Linda, the last 3 modules address what to do once in the boardroom and how to enhance your effectiveness and that of the board overall. Could you take us through those?
Sure. So module 8, we call it Ready, Set, Go, your rookie year. And if board fundamentals and your fiduciary responsibilities are board service 101, as Sue described earlier, these are the 201 and 301 that really accelerate learning and effectiveness once you're in the boardroom. And the video that we've created does a great job of describing the rookie year and how you can have impact, the do's and don'ts, what muscles to flex, when to sit back, listen, and learn. Those who read the materials accompanying Module 8 will be even more effective in their rookie year, so it's a must read. And most members new to boards will be at early stages of these skills, even with our great operating experiences. So it lays out the attributes and helps put you a roadmap in front of you. Module 9, which is the first of the 2 modules of our leading edge stewardship proprietary work, is called Becoming an Outstanding Director. This is the first of 2 proprietary modules that outline what it takes as an individual and as the board overall to excel and navigate in today's macro and micro geopolitical, social, and business dynamics. Success always starts with leadership of self, and in a boardroom, you are with peers. As we've said, no longer a directive leader. The personal influence roadmap is an easy to use rubric with 7 attributes that underlie personal effectiveness. The roadmap will serve you as a roadmap for moving from being elected as an expert in some critical areas necessary for the board to really building that personal influence in the boardroom and with your peers. And the most effective individuals influence collective discussions and insights, as we've discussed, and you'll see that in the rubric. Note that your effectiveness and all of our effectiveness improves over time. After every board meeting, it never stops improving. At some point in your journey, circumstances are less likely to be less than ideal, but you own your behavior and success regardless. The audience for this is new board members and experienced, seasoned, and mature board members. And Module 10 is called Building a High-Performing Board. Just as you are on an individual journey to effectiveness, so is any board that you might serve on. And this rubric serves as a roadmap to excellence for the board as a whole. We first define a high-performing board as a team that is grounded in purpose with a service mindset that is strategic, agile, and ultimately responsible for the long-term health of the organization. The leading edge stewardship work challenges board members and boards to recognize that board excellence requires evolving individual and group skills over time and in the context of the challenges and complexity of that very specific business. Seasoning of individual members and the board as a whole is a journey, and each board evolves differently based on the dynamics of that boardroom. Mastery in one boardroom, therefore, does not guarantee mastery in another, and the journey is always humbling as well as rewarding. So Sue, let me turn it back to you and wrap this up and give us some final words of wisdom.
Yeah, I have to say, as I hear you describe it, I'm excited to watch the modules because I know it's going to be great learning. And I have to say, in all cases, board-ready skills take time to cultivate and require practice and reflection. No 2 boards are the same. So success in one interview or boardroom does not always lead to success in another. We have been humbled as we apply the lessons in our own boardrooms and also encouraged by the successes this work promotes. Now, this is a service journey. I can't stress that enough. If you are at the beginning of your career, we hope you will keep the learnings from these Stanford Women on Board modules in mind as you develop your board skills over time. A great place to start is often with a nonprofit board, which can happen early in your career and will give you invaluable insights into how boards govern and enable you to give back to something you really care about. Now, I said this before, I'll repeat it again. Choosing is as critical as being chosen, because once you are on a board, you are there for quite some time. On public boards, the typical expectation is 10 years, typical, plus or minus. And by the way, you can't just quit when things go wrong. In fact, when you are most needed, that is when you're most needed, and you really need to double down. And it's almost always unexpected. So make sure you care and make sure you have the time to serve. We suggest that you watch all the videos before you interview, even the leading edge stewardship ones. Although they might be most relevant for once you've been in the boardroom, they actually help you understand board dynamics and the less visible but critical skill sets exhibited by effective board members and boards. It's a journey that you own. You heard Linda say that. You can, and we encourage you to ask for help as you go, but the initiative is yours. And you have to take it the minute you decide to adopt board service as an objective. We want to emphasize that there are many paths to joining a board, and as you will hear from our videos, many of our members have joined nonprofit boards very early in their careers to learn governance, and often served on the audit or finance committees of such a nonprofit as a way to gain the financial statement and risk expertise critical to corporate board service. Others join boards as investors in early stage companies from VC or private equity platforms. Others went the more traditional route and joined their first corporate boards once they became a CEO or after retirement from a C-suite role. Our most important learning to share with you, enjoy it. Enjoy the learning, enjoy the board service, enjoy the journey. And Linda, any closing thoughts that you'd like to share?
Thanks, Sue. I just add to your comments about the board journeys being so different is we didn't want to spend too much time in these 10 modules, but we have separately asked each of our faculty members to do a 3-minute or so video that really describes the texture of their board journey, because they have been so different. There are different ways of getting on boards, and we hope that will serve as another roadmap for everybody out there who's looking for a mentor, guidance, and some positive outcomes. So thank you again, Sue. Been delightful to be with you here today.
And with you. Enjoy the journey, guys.